This is Texas, home to big skies, bigger ambitions, and an economy that stands as one of the strongest and most dynamic in the United States. Located in the southern U.S., Texas has transformed itself from a land of cattle ranches and oil fields into a modern state. On the other hand, California, located on the West Coast, has always been seen as America's Golden State, famous for its tech dominance, and is home to Silicon Valley as the headquarters for tech giants like Google and Apple. California is also famous for Hollywood, home to iconic movie studios like Warner Brothers and Universal Pictures. But Texas has quietly and now very loudly started to outpace California in key areas like business and innovation. So why is the Lone Star State pulling ahead? Stick around as we break down how Texas is quickly becoming America's most powerful state. Now, before we get into the rise of Texas, let's talk about California. For decades, it has been the center of innovation, culture, and influence in the U.S. From Silicon Valley to Los Angeles, the Golden State ruled the roost. But recently, well, things have changed. In fact, more people have been moving out of California than moving in. That's surprising, but that's right. California has experienced a surprising drop in population. In fact, more Americans left California between 2023 and 2024 than any other state across the country, according to new data released by the Census Bureau. The Golden State lost a total of 239,575 residents to other states, the largest net domestic migration loss in the country over the past year. It's not just a one-off. For the past 2 decades, more people have been packing up and leaving California than settling there. Now, why is that? The cost of living is increasing and the numbers don't lie. Housing prices are simply off the charts. The average price of a single-family home in California is over $770,000, which is up 3.2% over the past year. Compare that to Texas, where you can find a comparable house for just $150,000. That's a shocking difference. But it's not just housing. The utility bills, transportation costs, and even the price of groceries are causing people to reconsider their California dream. So, naturally, people are heading to places like Texas, where the cost of living is lower and the opportunities are booming. While California's population is shrinking, Texas is experiencing explosive growth. From 2010 to 2023, Texas's population surged by 19%, a figure that far outpaces the national average. And in 2022, Texas's population surpassed 30 million people, making it the second most populated state in the country. In fact, in 2023, Texas welcomed nearly 473,000 new residents, more than all 50 states combined. By 2024, the population of Texas had grown to over 31.2 million people at 1.83% increase from 2023. Research reveals that Texas is on track to add between 3 to 5 million more people by 2036. And by 2060, experts predict Texas could have a population between 36 and 44 million people. Do the math, and you will notice that California, despite its losses, has around 39 million people now. By the time Texas reaches those numbers, the state could become the most populated in the U.S. So why are so many people flocking to Texas? Simple: job opportunities, affordable housing, and a business-friendly atmosphere. Millennials and Gen Zs are especially moving to Texas. 40% of movers in 2021 and 2022 were millennials, and 30% were Gen Z. These are the future of the workforce, and they're all calling Texas home. And this specific area in Texas is driving this growth: the Texas Triangle. No, it's not some mysterious Bermuda-type zone, but a mega region that includes the state's 4 largest cities: Houston, Austin, Dallas-Fort Worth, and San Antonio. These 4 cities make up around 70% of the state's population. In 2020, the population of the Texas Triangle was nearly 21 million. Why is this important? Well, these cities are more than just places to live. They are economic powerhouses. More than 75% of Texas's GDP comes from this region. Over the next 40 years, experts predict this area will grow by more than 65%, and by 2050, around 35 million people will live within this triangle. It's not just the population that's growing, though. The economic output is following suit, and that's where the real power lies. In fact, Texas is already home to 6 of the 25 most populous cities in the U.S. California only has 4. This means that Texas isn't just growing, it's becoming more densely populated in a way that supports business, infrastructure, and jobs. Projections suggest that the population of the Texas Triangle could increase by more than 65% in the next 40 years. The Texas Triangle is expected to play a dominant role in determining Texas's economic future, demographic patterns, and political priorities. Now, as more people move to Texas, naturally, they need homes. Texas has been leading the change in housing development, building 2.5 million homes from 2010 to 2022. That accounts for 22.5% of all homes built in the country. This housing boom has been essential to accommodating the state's rapidly growing population. The housing market is also much more affordable in Texas than in California. While California residents are being priced out of the market, Texans are thriving in a market that's both affordable and growing. Now, let's talk about politics for a moment. We all know that electoral votes are essential when it comes to presidential elections. California currently leads the country with 54 electoral votes, thanks to its massive population. However, as California's population shrinks and Texas continues to grow, the electoral map shifts. By 2030, predictions suggest California will lose 4 electoral votes, while Texas will gain 4. This could make elections much more competitive, especially when it comes to swing states. The political power of Texas is not just growing, it's rapidly catching up to California. When it comes to the economy, Texas is a juggernaut. The Texas economy is the 8th largest when compared to nations of the world and is now valued at $2.6 trillion, based on GDP for 2023. In 2022, Texas led the nation with the most companies in the Fortune 500, with 53 in total. Texas is experiencing faster growth and is doing so with a much lower cost of living and a more business-friendly environment. If Texas were its own country, it would have the 8th largest economy in the world, ahead of countries like Australia, Mexico, and Italy. So what is the key to Texas's economic success? It's the state's infrastructure, its natural resources, and its business-friendly policies. Let's break down these policies. The biggest reason businesses are moving to Texas is its low tax rates. Unlike California, where the cost of doing business is high due to taxes and regulations, Texas offers a much more attractive environment for companies. The state has no state income tax, making it easier for businesses to invest in their employees, expand operations, and boost profits. Add to that the world-class infrastructure. Over 313,000 miles of public roads, nearly 10,500 miles of railroads, 300 airports, and 19 seaports. And it's easy to see why companies are choosing Texas over California. For 2024, there are 107 Texas companies on the Fortune 1000 companies list. Surprisingly, 55 of these companies make the Fortune 500 list. This isn't just a few companies. This is a massive concentration of economic power. Texas's economy is deeply tied to its natural resources. The state produces over 40% of America's oil and nearly a quarter of its natural gas. It's also the leader in wind energy production and second in solar power. In 2023, Texas produced 43% of the country's crude oil. This makes Texas not just a leader in energy production, but also in energy exports. Texas also produces the most electricity in the U.S., generating more than 12% of the country's total electricity. In 2023, Texas was recognized as the largest exporter of energy resources, responsible for 65% of U.S. energy exports. And let's not forget the nearly 490,000 miles of pipelines crisscrossing the state, delivering oil and gas to where it's needed both within the country and beyond its borders. The oil and gas industry has been breaking records since 2023, and with the state's infrastructure, workforce, and natural resources, Texas is poised to remain the energy leader of the country for years to come. Another factor in Texas's rapid rise is its education and innovation sector, which continues to evolve. Texas has stepped up big time when it comes to education and innovation. Sure, it's always been home to prestigious institutions like the University of Texas and Texas A&M, but now the state is focused on expanding opportunities and attracting top talent. There are 299 universities and colleges in Texas. Cities like Austin and Houston have become hotspots for tech companies and startups. In fact, did you know Austin, often called Silicon Hills, was ranked the 4th best city for tech talent in 2023? And it's not just about the big names. Startups are thriving here. And speaking of big names, companies like Oracle, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, and Tesla have all moved their headquarters to Texas. Why? Texas offers a low-tax, business-friendly environment with lower living costs compared to places like California's Silicon Valley. On top of that, the state is actively supporting talent development through coding boot camps, entrepreneurial programs, and funding opportunities. But Texas isn't just about tech. Its transportation and logistics network is a game-changer. The state is one of the top exporters in the U.S. and has a transportation system that matches its massive economy. Texas has the largest rail system in the country, extensive highways, and key ports in Houston and Galveston that handle tons of international goods daily. Whether it's moving goods across the state or shipping them abroad, Texas does it faster and more efficiently than most places. It's no surprise that Texas is emerging as one of the most powerful states in the U.S. It all comes down to a combination of strategic factors: population growth, a thriving economy fueled by innovation, natural resources, a booming tech scene, and strategic investments in infrastructure. With so many factors working together, Texas is quickly closing the gap with California and may even surpass it in the coming decades as a dominant force on the national and global stage. But what do you think? Is Texas truly America's most powerful state, or does California still hold the crown? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.